News 3 WSIL. Here's what's happening right now.
Good morning. Waking up to some warm conditions, but we are tracking a cold front.
And making news headlines, Illinois officials push to make safer schools in our region.
Plus, the investigation continues in an officer-involved shooting in our region.
And I'm live this morning with details on why officers could use your help.
We've got you covered. From WSIL, this is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, October 21st, as I like to call it, Friday Eve. I'm Dave Davis.
And I'm Effie Allen. We're so happy you decided to be with us on this Friday Eve. Guess who else is with us? Storm Track 3 meteorologist JC Brienne. Also joining us. Happy to have you. Good morning. And you brought the nice weather with you.
Yes, I did. It's been quite a while since I've been able to hang out with you guys.
I know. I love it.
Lots of coffee.
It's really nice. It's nice. Yeah, lots of coffee. Not a bad morning to have some coffee. I mean, it's a little bit chilly, if you will, out there. It's a warm morning, but this is about as warm as it's going to get for the rest of the day. This is a quick look at some of your temperatures this morning. We are waking up to temperatures in the low to mid 60s across the region, but notice some cooler air is going to be sinking in. Back in Festus coming in the 50s, Sparta at 58 degrees, tracking a cold front that's actually making its way through the region this morning, and that's going to bring some very breezy conditions and a much cooler afternoon. I'll have all of the details on how warm it's going to get this afternoon coming up in just a bit.
Well, we began with the death investigation in Carbondale after a husband and wife were found dead in their home. Right now, authorities are asking for the public's help with any information they can provide.
Absolutely. This is a big story in our region. Brooke Slyer is there in Carbondale live this morning working to learn more about it. So, Brooke, what do we know now?
Yeah, that's right, Evie and Abel. Right now, details are very limited because this is an active investigation. But what we do know is that the couple, a husband and wife, were found dead inside their home right here on the 700 block of West Main Street. That happened Monday night when authorities were carrying out a welfare check, usually meaning that a family member, a co-worker, a friend, or neighbor had some concern there. And that's when they found Stephen E. Lusk and his wife Montoya M. Moore, both of Carbondale. Authorities then contacted the Jackson County Coroner's Office, who will carry out an investigation to figure out the cause of death. At this point, it's believed to be an isolated incident with no risk to the public. But again, the Carbondale Police Department saying this morning that this is an active and ongoing investigation. So anyone with any information should call police or Crime Stoppers. For now, reporting in Carbondale, Brooke Slyer, News 3. All
right, well, this weekend, Franklin County crews are going to be searching for a missing man and could use your help in this hunt. Joshua Brock went missing from his Orient home on Saturday, October 9th. Officials with 618 Search and Rescue will meet at the Orient City Hall around 8:30 in the morning on Saturday and Sunday to search the wooded areas around Orient. Anyone is welcome to come out and join this search. A suspect involved in a theft is in the hospital after being shot inside the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office.
News 3's Zanny Valle was in McLeansboro looking into what led to that shooting.
I'm inside the Hamilton County Courthouse where a shooting occurred behind me at the Sheriff's Office. It all happened just after midnight on Wednesday, involving 3 people, a McLeansboro police officer, a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy, and a suspect who was being booked accused of possessing a controlled substance, meth, and a stolen vehicle. Now, Illinois State Police says the suspect broke free from their restraints and assaulted the officers. Both officers took out their weapons and fired at the suspect. They were hit by 1 round. The suspect was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Now, earlier, State's Attorney Justin Hood said that the person was also in custody for allegedly having stolen property connected to an investigation in Williamson County. Now, News 3 found several community posts about a stolen red F-150 going around, and that took us to the Marion area of Dooley Street and Dewdrop Drive. That's where one neighbor said his home was burglarized. Another neighbor said he saw a suspicious red pickup truck speeding down Dooley. He did say that the pickup truck matched the description of the stolen vehicle reported on social media. Now, the neighbors said that the red truck then turned left as it reached Fair Street, and after it went down Fair Street, that's when he said a police cruiser began following the person in the red truck. Now, there are still a couple of unanswered questions. We don't know the suspect's name, and we also don't know whether the stolen vehicle the suspect was charged with is the same one that was reportedly stolen in Williamson County. We're hoping to have that information for you soon. Illinois State Police is investigating. We will have all the updates online at WSILTV.com. For now, inside the Hamilton County Courthouse in McLeansboro, Danny Valle, News 3.
Switching gears now to Illinois politics, U.S. Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth is speaking out at a hearing with the Environmental and Public Works Committee. Now, she brought up the Sugar Camp coal mine in Franklin County that reportedly used dangerous PFAS chemicals to try and put out a fire. She wants people to know what those chemicals are and says they pose a dangerous long-term risk to public health. She also says investments are needed to re-educate firefighters on the dangers of PFAS.
They've been taught and told this is what you're supposed to use because this is what puts out these fires. And there's stockpiles of this foam in fire stations all across the country. So we have to come up with an alternative.
Right now, News 3 is waiting for documents regarding the mine via a Freedom of Information Act. That's a FOIA request. We're told there would be 1 week delay in getting those documents.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker launched a new statewide school safety initiative. It's part of America's Safe Schools Week. This program is called Safe to Help Illinois, where students can anonymously submit information about school safety issues. Once reported, the program will connect local officials with appropriate tools to help students before they harm themselves or others.
We're not looking to suspend, expel, or punish students. We want to make sure that we're providing resources so students can get the help that they need, not only for themselves, but to be able to look out for their fellow classmates and their friends. The important part is that we seek help before harm.
I think that the Safe to Help line just adds to a comprehensive strategic school safety plan that includes school resource officers, school counselors, well-trained teachers, hardening of facilities. All of these things are important to a comprehensive school safety plan.
Safe to Help is free for all districts who are registered, but students in districts that aren't registered can still use the website safetohelpil.com.
Well, another statewide program helps connect those in COVID-19 quarantine with the services they need. It's called the Pandemic Health Navigator program.
Yeah, now we first brought this information to you about the program over the summer. Now News 3's Madeline Parker has a closer look at how it's helping local businesses.
Rewarding part is to put people's mind at ease because they find themselves suddenly in isolation and having to stay home.
Hope Logwood works for the Pandemic Navigator program as a member of the Carbondale NAACP. Through the pandemic, she and other program workers have helped connect people with resources as they quarantine.
Biggest need is financial assistance. People need to be able to pay for their bills. Primarily rental assistance, which we don't have very much of that available in our area right now.
From April to September, there have been over 16,000 requests throughout Illinois. Just under 3,000 came from Region 5. From August to September alone, service requests jumped 30%. Region 5 had over 1,000 requests in 1 month, mostly for food and rental assistance.
Or if you were quarantined, you were able to purchase the products you needed or pay that rent that even though you were going to be out of work for a couple of weeks, you had reserves to do that. Those reserves are used up now for so many people. And that's starting for us to see more of these concerns coming in, that I need more assistance with rent, utilities, more assistance for short-term food needs.
While COVID cases have begun declining, so have the number of requests. But as Logwood continues working with the program, she asks everyone to continue to check on people in the community.
People feel more comfortable when they have a family or a friend member that can help them out. So to be aware of people in your community, to be able to give them a call for that support because they are by themselves. And so they enjoy having that contact with other people.
Well, for those looking for assistance, you can contact your local health department or you can find resources on our website, WSILTV.com.
Now on the topic of COVID-19, New Simpson Hill School stopped in-person learning for the rest of the week, and that's because of an outbreak there. Officials at the Johnson County School say 28 students and 2 staff members tested positive for the virus, but a number of staff members and siblings are quarantined because of those cases. School plans to resume in-person learning on Monday. And here are the most up-to-date COVID cases in our region. There are 2,400 new cases and 36 new deaths reported in Illinois.
Missouri's 7-day average of new cases is 1,081. And Southeast Missouri State University hit a major milestone. The school reached a 65% vaccination rate on campus. Administrators say it has just under 2 weeks left of its incentive program. The goal is to reach a 70% vaccination rate by November 1st. The reward for reaching the goal is giving students and staff a week-long Thanksgiving break.
Now to Kentucky, where 1,800 new cases and 52 new deaths have been reported. Their 7-day positivity rate is on a steady decline at 6.8%. One national news, in Florida, a jury will decide if the Parkland shooter, Nicholas Cruz, will be sentenced to death or life in prison without parole. Yesterday, Cruz pleaded guilty to killing 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018. He also injured 17 others. His plea means victims' families won't endure a trial. However, they say this is not enough.
What did you think about Cruz's apology?
Irrelevant, and we're just one step closer to justice.
That was useless. To me, they're going to try to use any words he used today in his defense to not get the death penalty.
Now, those jurors will ultimately decide if Cruz should be sentenced to death or life in prison without parole. The judge plans to screen thousands of jurors, given the case's notoriety.
Former President Donald Trump faces another probe into his finances. New York's Westchester County District Attorney's Office is investigating the Trump Organization. Now, they want to know if the company misled a town regarding a golf course's property value. People familiar with the issue say property tax records from the town were subpoenaed. The investigation has been going on for months, but no charges have been pressed. The Trump Organization already faces charges for falsifying business records and taking part in a scheme to defraud.
Well, comedian Dave Chappelle is getting quite a bit of backlash over a recent special of his. Hundreds of Netflix employees held a demonstration last night in Los Angeles. They're upset with how the streaming company handled the controversy around Chappelle's latest special. They say he was offensive towards transgender people. Netflix still says he didn't do anything wrong.
U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal is calling for Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg to testify on the platform's harms on children. This is after a former Facebook employee leaked internal company documents shared with Congress. Blumenthal says those documents have concealed information about teen mental health and addiction. He adds that Facebook gave misleading answers when asked about Instagram and teens. The Wall Street Journal reported Facebook has research that both platforms can damage mental health among teens. Now we're going to check in with Storm Track 3 meteorologist JC Brienne.
You know, it's really not too bad out there this morning. It's a pretty warm morning. We're waking up to the temperatures in the 60s, but it's not too hard to pick out that cold front. We are tracking a front that's going to be making its way through the region this morning, and that's going to lead to a cooler and breezy afternoon. So those 70s that we saw yesterday are not going to be back this afternoon. I'll let you know how warm it's going to get after the break.
Well, you can now travel across parts of Kentucky with your favorite beer. After the break, we'll tell you how.
Interesting. Plus, some local high schoolers get a sneak peek of college life. We'll have those details for you when we return. It is 6:16, and local high school students experienced the excitement of attending SIU. Yesterday, those students visited different services and organizations available on campus. Over 400 students from 11 area high schools attended, and we had the chance to speak to one of them. She says the best part of SIU is just how welcoming the on-campus community is.
I know people have made some amazing friendships, and there's a great community over here, and everybody just enjoys being over here, so that's something that always makes everything better and something to really look forward to.
This visit included a tour of the school's classrooms and labs.
Well, you'll soon be able to experience a new craft beer trail in Western Kentucky. It's called the West Kentucky Brewery Hop and features 13 craft breweries in 10 cities across the Commonwealth. Now, it's part of a partnership between the Paducah Convention and Visitors Bureau and local breweries. Anyone 21 and older can participate, and you will need to obtain a passport from a participating CVB or craft brewery. Your passport will guide you along the trail, and once completed, can be mailed in for a specially designed print glass. Sounds very interesting.
And of course, waking up to some pretty nice conditions this morning. I'm in for meteorologist Nick Housen, who is getting some much needed rest. Not too bad out there as you're getting out and about. We've got partly cloudy skies across the area, some warm conditions this morning, but we are tracking some changes. Tracking a cold front. It's actually making its way through the region right now, so that's going to lead to some breezy and cooler conditions, especially by the afternoon. You'll really start to see some of those changes. But as far as this morning, this is a quick look at your camera in Poplar Bluff. Very quiet to start the day, so not a whole lot of activity expected. Temperature-wise, we're pretty warm. We've got Poplar Bluff actually coming in the upper 50s, 59 degrees. Winds out of the west-southwest, about 5 miles per hour. Winds slowly going to start to pick up, especially for some of those northern counties as we get later into the day. Thanks to that cold front, temperatures right now, it's really not hard to pick up where that cold front is, where some of that cooler air is coming from. We're waking up to temperatures in the 60s for the most part this morning, a few of us in the upper 50s, but we are tracking again cooler air going to be setting into the area. Back in Kansas City, coming in at 45 degrees. Sioux City waking up to 39. So thank goodness it's not going to be quite that cold, but it is going to be cool and it's going to be very breezy. So this morning, some of us are waking up to winds out of the southwest between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Eventually, after that front sets through, winds slowly going to be shifting out of the west-northwest, and then it's going to get pretty gusty as we get into the afternoon. But aside from some gusty conditions and some cool conditions, your threat tracker bar is going to be staying nice and low. So we're not tracking any strong storms today. It's going to be relatively quiet in that aspect. Threat tracker bar stays nice and low even into Friday. And then as we get into the weekend, it starts to go a little bit back up. So we are going to be tracking some showers as we get into the weekend. But until then, just breezy and cool conditions. Wide look at the satellite and radar. We did see some cloud cover this morning, but we are going to be seeing a little bit of sunshine behind the front. It's not going to last for very long. We are expecting some more clouds to set in from the north as we start to get into the afternoon. But here's what's going on. Again, tracking a front making its way through the region. For the most part, going to be moving through dry. A lot of the morning hours, going to see that sunshine. It's as we get into the afternoon that some of this wraparound cloud cover starts to set in from the north. So as we start to get into the evening hours and the overnight hours, mostly cloudy skies going to be making their way back into the region. And that's going to stick around into Friday morning. But as we get into the afternoon and evening on Friday, we are going to see that break back up. So we've got periods of sunshine and clouds really throughout the next course of the couple of days. Temperature-wise, this is going to be the biggest change today. So yesterday we topped out in the mid to upper 70s. Today only going to be topping out in the 60s, and it's going to be so windy. Winds out of the west-northwest. Temperatures overnight going to be dipping down into the 50s. Storm Track 3 app, of course, always great to have on your smartphone. Looking ahead, we have a couple of dry days on the board, but I mentioned that chance for some showers comes back on Saturday. Looking like a pretty active day as we get into Sunday as well. That system starts to make its way out of the area by Monday. We get a break Tuesday, and then more activity comes back by Wednesday. So enjoy the dry fall-like weather while it's here.
Yeah, we're not thinking anything severe though, right?
No, not at this time.
All right, appreciate that, JC. Well, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden talks about breast cancer education in her latest interview.
We'll have a sneak peek after the break. Well, Robin Roberts sits down with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden about the First Lady's work to educate people about breast cancer.
That's right, ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details in today's GMA First Look.
We must pass this Build Back Better plan. It is plain and simple. This isn't a right or left issue. This is a right or wrong. This is our moment in history. We must pass this Build Back Better plan. It is plain and simple. This isn't a right or left issue. This is a right or wrong. This is our moment in history. We must pass this Build Back Better plan. It is plain and simple. This isn't a right or left issue. This is a right or wrong. This is our moment in history.
News 3 WSIL. Here's what's happening right now.
Good morning. We are tracking a cold front making its way through the region, leading to a chilly afternoon.
Making news headlines this morning, oil prices are on the rise. We've got you covered on how it affects local gas prices.
Plus, the Red Cross needs your help. We'll tell you how you can help out in just a moment.
And I'm live in Carbondale this morning where a death investigation is underway.
We've got you covered. From WSIL, this is News 3 This Morning.
Well, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's a happy Thursday today. We appreciate you being here. I'm Evie Allen.
And I'm Dave Davis, and a beautiful day to wake up. I stepped outside this morning and I thought, man, this is so nice. Drove a Storm Track 3 meteorologist, JC Brianne. They have Nick in the prompter there. It was a change.
Yeah, nope, surprise.
Hey, it's a welcome surprise. You brought beautiful weather with you.
Yeah,
yes, you did.
It's not too bad. You know, it's really a pretty warm morning out there for most of us, but, you know, for a lot of us, that's going to be some of the warmest temperatures of the day. Some of those have already actually come and gone, tracking a cold front making its way through the region. So going to be quite a bit cooler than what we saw yesterday. But along with that front, it's going to be a little bit breezy. At this point in time, though, really pretty quiet as you're getting out and about. Quick look at your camera in Benton. Not a whole lot of activity going on. And again, those temperatures range from the upper 50s to the mid 60s. Now, some areas seeing some of those cooler temperatures already creeping in. We've got Cape Girardeau at 59, along with Mount Vernon, Carbondale 60 degrees, but Paducah still pretty warm, coming in at 66 degrees. So we are, again, going to be seeing a very cool afternoon and then a very breezy afternoon. I'll let you know how much cooler it's going to be coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks for that, JC. Well, this morning we are working to learn more about a death investigation that's underway in southern Illinois.
Authorities say they found a couple in their home, and right now the cause of death is unknown. Brooke is live this morning in Carbondale with the details.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Dave, well, right now I'm on the 700 block of West Main Street, and this is where authorities found both a husband and wife dead inside their home during a welfare check. Now, that usually means a family member, friend, coworker, or neighbor have been worried about them. Authorities carried out that welfare check Monday night around 7 o'clock, and that's when they found Stephen E. Lusk and his wife, Montoya M. Moore, both of Carbondale. Authorities then contacted the Jackson County Coroner's Office, who will carry out an investigation to figure out the cause of death. Now, at this point, it's believed to be an isolated incident with no risk to the public. Now, the Carbondale Police Department is saying this is an active and ongoing investigation, so anyone with information should call police or Crime Stoppers. For now, reporting in Carbondale, Brooke Slyer, News 3.
Thanks for that report, Brooke. While on Capitol Hill, U.S. lawmakers inch toward the legislative framework for President Joe Biden's social spending plan. Right now, they are working to lower the plan's overall cost. Sources say areas for compromise include dropping Biden's plan for tuition-free community college, an extension of the child tax credit for just 1 year, and a reduction in proposed funding for elderly and disabled home care. Now, scaling down Biden's paid leave proposal for workers to 4 weeks from 12.
We must pass this Build Back Better plan. It is plain and simple. This isn't a right or left issue. This is a right or wrong. This is our moment in history.
Now, with these cuts, that puts the plan at around $2 trillion versus the $3.5. Democrats hope to pass both bills by October 31st.
Well, today the U.S. House of Representatives will vote on a contempt of Congress resolution for Trump ally Steve Bannon. The resolution is for defying a subpoena from the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol breach. GOP leaders recommended Republicans vote no on the criminal contempt referral for Bannon in a closed-door meeting. The Department of Justice will ultimately decide whether to bring charges against him.
Illinois House Republicans are pushing legislation limiting Governor J.B. Pritzker's use of executive orders. All of the COVID-19 mandates and emergency orders issued during the pandemic came from Governor Pritzker. The GOP says after 30 days into a statewide emergency, lawmakers should be the ones involved in decision making. Governor Pritzker says lawmakers could have taken up COVID legislation at any time, but Republicans argue that Democratic leaders never pushed for that option.
Well, help is on the way to owners of low-income residential properties in Illinois. It's part of the Low-Income Residential Energy Efficiency Grant. It's more than $2 million, and it's funded by the Environmental Protection Agency. Eligible applicants include public housing authorities, local government units, and nonprofits. You can apply through the EPA's website. The deadline is January 12th. Switching gears now to consumer news. Better than expected earnings reports help drive up stock markets. The Dow closed up over 0.4%, pushing past the high it set in August. The S&P almost hit a new record after closing up after over 3%. Meanwhile, lagging tech stocks pulled the Nasdaq down a fraction of 1%.
Well, on the upswing is online shopping for the holidays is on track to go around 10%, and that's compared to last year. And if the forecast from Adobe Analytics bears out, it would be the slowest growth in nearly a decade. Product shortages and higher prices are expected to put a damper on some sales.
PayPal may be looking to make a big purchase. The New York Times says it's working on a $45 billion deal to acquire Pinterest. That would make it the biggest deal in the consumer internet industry in several years.
Well, the most valuable car company in the world races to record a record revenues for the 5th straight quarter. Tesla beat expectations with revenues of $13.7 billion, but it warns that supply chain issues and time needed to ramp up new factories could slow things down just a bit.
Well, another thing slowing down production is higher gas prices. That's due to another spike in oil prices. Oil hit another 7-year high this week, topping $84 a barrel. AAA says the national average for unleaded gas is now $3.35 a gallon. Now let's look for gas prices in our region. Casey's on Main Street in Carbondale shows $3.39 a gallon. And of course, Circle K on Broadway Street in Mount Vernon is $3.19 a gallon. Rhodes 101 on South Sprague Street in Cape Girardeau has gas just a little bit cheaper at $3.09 a gallon, and the Marathon Station on Mathis Drive in Paducah is $2.90. cents a gallon.
I saw it was $3.55 in Johnson City when I come through, and I was like, ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Man.
Well, News 3 has teamed up with the American Red Cross, and you can give the gift of life at our upcoming blood drives.
That's right. News 3's Maya Skinner tells us why your donations are so important.
American Red Cross Blood District Manager Ann Venhouse says donor turnout has reached the lowest levels of the year.
We are currently facing a 10% decrease in our donor turnout since August. So in August, that's kind of when the Delta variant came out and people were still out traveling. So they have not been showing up to the blood drives.
Donors of all types, including O, are strongly encouraged to help out.
We obviously need all blood types. However, type O blood, O negative is the universal blood type. So if you happen to go into a hospital and you are unconscious, and you need a blood transfusion, they're going to give you O negative blood. So we're constantly needing type O blood. So that way we can meet those patients that need it if they are not aware of what their blood type is.
The organization says every 2 seconds in the United States, blood is needed for those, including burn victims, surgery, transplant, and cancer patients. Venhouse says donating helps ensure blood for the holiday season.
That has kind of led to the Red Cross needing to collect at least 10,000 additional units of blood in order to make up for the appeal that we are currently on to help those hospital patients.
Maya Skinner, News 3.
Now here's where you can help out with that cause. There's a few blood drives happening. One will be happening Friday, November 12th from 1:30 to 6:30, or on Saturday, November 13th from 10:30 to 3:30. And that's one of 3 locations you can go to. One in Carbondale at the University Mall, Veterans Airport in Marion, or the Drury Inn Suites in Mount Vernon. And you can make an appointment by visiting our website at WSILTV.com and looking for this story.
Well, employees of the Stems Cafe and Coffee Shop in Heron celebrates its name change. Back in August, Tricia and Jason, Steam took over Newman and Company. They say right now their biggest challenge is keeping food in stock. They've sold out the past 3 days. They also say they've made some changes. There are now new hours, an expanded breakfast menu, and new coffee flavors.
Well, the African American Museum of Southern Illinois is hosting a fundraiser today. It will be at Mod Pizza in Carbondale from 10:30 until 10 tonight. 20% of your bill will go to the museum if you place an order in store and then mention that you are with the museum before placing your order. If you're ordering online, use the coupon code on your screen right there to donate.
Also today, Illinois participants can participate in the Great Shakeout earthquake drill. It teaches residents how to protect themselves during an earthquake. Participants will learn how to drop, cover, and hold on. The drill starts at 10:21. Do you remember doing those drills, JC?
I do. And of course, we are on the New Madrid fault line, so always good to be prepared in that case. Just looking up a little bit of data in the past 7 days, there was a 2.1 magnitude earthquake that was in Arkansas, but that was still a little less than 400 miles away. So not a whole lot of activity in our region. Weather-wise, we are going to be seeing some big changes, though. We've got a big cool down coming our way. It's going to be a lot different this afternoon compared to where it was at yesterday. I will break down all of those details in just a bit.
Well, you can help provide food for those in need this holiday season. We've got you covered with how.
Plus, the local university is ready to keep us safe during severe weather. We'll have those details on their new upgrades. And before the break, we talked about a fundraiser that is raising or selling food. Hey, I just dodged a landmine on that one.
I know some of the words in these prompters, guys. But that's not the only one providing food this week. The Fowler Bonin Foundation wants to invite the public to bring hungry bellies this weekend to help a good cause. Barbecue meals will be served curbside at the First Presbyterian Church of Harrisburg. Proceeds will go to the Fowler Bonin's annual holiday meals for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thanksgiving alone, we supplied over 2,500 meals throughout Southern Illinois that were delivered. We worked with our local communities, and these meals were delivered to their citizens, the shut-ins, and people that were looking forward to a great holiday meal for Thanksgiving. And then for Christmas, we did a similar program, except we served almost 3,500 meals for Christmas.
I always love the Christmas event. Well, the event takes place this Sunday from 11 until 1.
Well, switching gears here now, Southeast Missouri State University just got a big designation. The campus is storm ready, and that's according to the National Weather Service. They gave that designation to the university based on the university's preparedness for severe weather and its 24-hour emergency operations center that helped the university get this big designation. So good for them. I'm glad they're being proactive in this, and it's great to see more schools and universities doing this.
Yeah, definitely want to see that. It's always great to have, and you know, we're tracking some storms, but not today. So you are going to want to make sure you're going to be ready, but we do have some quiet weather for the most part today. It's just going to be breezy and really pretty cool, especially when you take into account the warm temperatures we saw yesterday. Here's a quick look at your camera in Carbondale this morning. We've got partly cloudy skies across the area. We're actually going to see a decent amount of sunshine through the first half of the day, but we are expecting an increase in some of that cloud cover as we start to get into the afternoon and the evening hours, so soak up the sun while it's around. We are tracking a cold front actually making its way through the region this morning. So temperature-wise this morning, we're waking up to temperatures in the 60s. I'm going to back off here for just 1 second. Looks like my clicker is not ready to wake up yet this morning. But again, temperature-wise, we're waking up to temperatures in the 60s, but we have a big cool down that is coming our way. So cooler temperatures going to be on the way as we get into the afternoon. We're actually going to only be seeing high temperatures in the 60s today. So this is it. This is the high temperatures. This is a look at that cool down. There we go. Temperatures back off to the west. You can really see some of that cooler air. Kansas City at 45 degrees, Des Moines 43, and in Sioux City waking up to the upper 30s. So thank goodness it's not quite that chilly here this morning. And again, oh no, this clicker just does not want to wake up this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over to my computer and I'm going to walk you through this off of this screen. So here we go. Let's see what we've got here. We've got, again, temperature-wise across the area, some of those cooler temperatures starting to set in into the region. Actually, some of us in the 50s now. We've got Sparta at 56 degrees, Cape Girardeau at 59. But if you notice off to the east where that cooler air hasn't quite made it in yet, we've got Paducah still hanging on to 66 degrees this morning. Threat tracker bar, it is up just a little bit today, and that's because some of the breezy conditions, but overall a pretty quiet day. So decreasing clouds as we get into Friday. Threat tracker bar stays nice and low. We are tracking the chance for showers coming back to the area by Saturday. So wide look at that satellite and radar again, tracking a cold front making its way through the region. A little bit of cloud cover maybe off into some of those eastern counties this morning. Partly cloudy skies, but the sunshine comes back. It doesn't stick around throughout the entire day, though. It's a very brief break before some of these wraparound clouds start to push back in from the north. So as we get into the afternoon and evening, we are expecting more clouds to be making their way into the region. Mostly cloudy skies expected overnight tonight. Those clouds stick around into Friday morning, and then as we get into the afternoon, a chance that we see a little bit more sunshine coming back. Temperature-wise, this is the biggest change. So yesterday we topped out in the 70s. High temperatures today going to be topping out in the 60s. So this is about as warm as it's going to get throughout the day today. And it's going to be pretty breezy, especially for some of those northern counties. We're talking about wind gusts close to 20 miles per hour out of the northwest. So that'll also make the chill even a little bit stronger in the air. So again, it's relatively quiet as far as showers and storms go. Storm Track 3 app, always great to have on your smartphone though, because we are tracking more rain chances coming back by the weekend and sticking around through early next week. A little bit of a break on Tuesday, and then we're talking about more showers and storms even to midweek next week. So soak up the dry conditions while they're here. Although it is chilly, partly cloudy today, again 64 degrees for that high. Storm chances don't come back until Saturday. And then, of course, it is that time of the day where we get to see some beautiful photos coming in from some of our viewers. This is our viewer photo of the day, sent in from Thompsonville,
nice. Oh, wow.
from Michelle. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for sending that photo in. That's my favorite part of the day, too. Nice to see some of those.
Your photos, all right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you keep on sending them.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Well, still to come, we have our top stories for you.
But first, here's a look at what's coming up on GMA.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we'll have the latest on the Bryan Laundrie manhunt. Authorities finding those apparent human remains in the nature reserve. But we're going to have more on what comes next, right here on GMA.
Putting the juju on you. That's for you, Anthony. We can tell by your writing. You've got the devil in your writing. You need some church in your writing. Read the Bible every day. Actually, you do write in King James Version language, basically. It is 6:55, and we're learning that Illinois State Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. This happened in Hamilton County inside the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office in McLeansboro. Here's what we know so far about this. 2 officers were involved. ISP says the suspect who was in custody broke free and assaulted the officers, each firing their weapon. 1 round hit the suspect. Right now, that suspect is hospitalized in critical condition.
And you can help crews search for a missing man in Franklin County this weekend. Joshua Brock went missing from his Orient home Saturday, October 9th. Officials with 618 Search and Rescue will meet at Orient City Hall around 8:30 this Saturday and Sunday to search the wooded areas. Anyone is welcome to join in the search. And New Simpson Hill has stopped in-person learning for the rest of the week due to COVID-19 outbreak. Officials at the Johnson County School say 28 students and 2 staff members have tested positive for the virus, but a number of staff members are quarantined because of those cases. The school plans to resume in-person learning on Monday. Now we're going to check back in one last time with JC.
Well, we are going to be seeing at least a little bit of sunshine through the first half of the day, but temperatures are going to be so much cooler. We're actually only going to be seeing afternoon highs in the 60s, so very different from the 70s we saw yesterday. Also going to be a pretty breezy day. Winds out of the west-northwest as we get into the afternoon with gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. So maybe feeling a little bit more fall-like out there today, but for the most part, we're pretty quiet as far as the rain goes. That doesn't come back till the weekend.
All right. Thank you. We loved having you.
Yes, it was
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
We'll see you back here at 7:23 with more news and weather. Have a pretty good Thursday.